Hey, music lovers, this is Byron from Musical Miles Podcast. I am here in Chalice, Idaho with Jeff Crosby.
Howdy, folks.
We are here for the Brown Brothers reunion.
Yep.
40th annual.
We somehow made it again, man. I can't believe it
again. How many years you been here, Jeff?
You know, we were joking about that earlier, and we were guessing it's the 8th, 9th, or 10th year that we played it.
It's a little foggy, huh?
We literally couldn't figure out between. It's one of the three there, but it's been a long time now.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's the 9th.
That's thinking it's the 9th. Well, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna call it the 9th.
Yeah, pick the middle one.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. So Jeff is from Donnelly, Idaho. So he's an Idaho boy.
Yeah, just down the road,
which is cool because we love Idaho.
Yeah, man.
And we love Idaho music. And we love Jeff Crosby's music.
Oh, right on, man.
So we got to meet Jeff. It's probably been 3 or 4 years ago at Bone, Idaho was, I think, the first time we met.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So we met in Bone. And I don't know if you remember this, but so in 20, when nobody was touring,
right,
I hired Mickey and Gary, and they came and did a private show for us. And then we booked you and Darcy.
Oh, really? Okay.
We booked you and Darcy, and then COVID flared back up, and they shut us all down again. So we had to cancel.
Oh, man.
I've always regretted that because that was
we got to make that one up.
We got to make it happen.
I love going out. Well, Idaho Falls and Bone.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a song the first time we played out in Bone, which may have been when I first met you.
I think so. I think it was in 20 or 21.
I wrote this tune called Alone in Iona.
Yeah.
We were driving through, and I was like, Iona, that's such a cool sounding town. And then that night we were at the hotel. I finished that song and ended up putting it on my last record.
Yeah. I remember that. And actually, our oldest son and his family lives in Iona.
Oh, cool, man.
So we'll have to
liquor on top of chicken.
That's amazing.
All right. So so tell me a little bit about your musical journey. How did you get started? Did your dad play? Your mom play? Where's the music come from?
No, not really. I just playing with the old timers in Donnelly. It was just a pretty cool musical community of, well, a bunch of old drunks, to be honest, that used to get together at this hat shop, the Silvertip Hat Shop in Donnelly.
Okay.
It's still there, actually. He's since Randy's passed away and passed it on to another woman. And my neighbor Andrew was always having these jams, on Sundays or Saturdays or Mondays or whatever. And anytime everyone could get together. Right. I was the young kid that I always wanted to go hang out with them. And I was kind of always more into, what the older guys were doing, I guess. My friends were playing video games and stuff. And I always thought playing guitars and telling jokes was a lot more interesting, I guess. So
sure.
When I was in high school, I was hanging out with the old farts.
So you're an old soul. That's
yeah, maybe. I was more interested in hearing their stories and hanging out with them. And so that's kind of how I started writing songs and learning songs and hanging out. And they'd invite me to the jams,
Right.
They'd all be getting pissed drunk, and I'd be hanging out in the corner, 16 years old. But so that's kind of the time I ended up playing.
Yeah.
And and then from there, honestly, meeting all these guys and the community of Idaho players, the Brown Brothers. Yeah. And I met Muzz at a benefit for the Donnelly Library. And my neighbor Andrew, who I used to play music with, specifically hired Muzzy so that he would see us play. So he had Muzzy play right before my band.
Okay.
Because he knew if Muzz saw us, he'd invite us up to the reunion.
Right.
And he even told me this, which made me nervous. But I was like, well, whatever. It's nice to meet him, but don't make it weird.
Right.
And, sure enough, though, Muzz played his set, and then he hung out with my neighbor Andrew and watched our set. And then we ended up meeting and hanging out afterwards. And he invited us up that year.
Well, he told that story last night when we introduced you at the reunion over here, that he saw you play and said, "This kid's got to meet my boys," and that's such a cool way.
Oh yeah, and then he said, "I'm still not sure if that was the worst thing or the best thing."
Yeah, who was the better or worst influence on each other, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, these guys are just.
Well, you're such a talented guitar player, and I absolutely love to watch you play.
Oh, right on.
And I told Darcy this the other day because we did. So Jeff and Darcy are kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
JCDC.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, there she is. There she is in all her glory. I just told her how much I love to watch you because I think you love what you do. You really, truly love what you do.
Yeah, man. I do. I love to play. I guess that's the thing too. It's like I don't know. I guess I'm getting finally old enough. I'm 37, not that old.
You're not that old, trust me. I
Yeah.
can't remember when I was 37. That's how old I am.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah, man. I love to play, and honestly, getting to play up here. That's the thing about the Broward Virginia. It's such a cool. It's such a good. It's just a really fun crowd to play for. It's people that really are, especially us having almost played here for 10 years now. People are really invested in,
right,
you know,
right,
in the bands, and then you know, we've been coming up here and playing all these years, and they've been following along what we've been doing and the records, and
yeah,
they're kind of a part of it as much as we are. You know, it's the crowd here is pretty special. It's an earned crowd. You don't just get to like.
It's one of those places. I don't know very many places here, and maybe Mile Zero Fest and a couple other smaller venues, but or festivals that you actually can sit down with Jeff Crosby, Gary Braun. I stood in here the other night in the bar and visited with Gary. And of course, I've known Gary for a little while. But get to visit with the artists, right?
Right.
And most people don't get to hear what we're getting to hear because of this podcast now. Is the backstory, right?
Totally.
Why did you write that song? And what motivated you to do that? One thing I want to talk about real quick is your new album, dude. I love your new album.
Oh, thanks, man.
Another Petal Falls Off of the Road.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. I think that's right.
But once I downloaded it the other day, I've listened to it several times, and I love the title song. The title song.
It's a strange record, man. It's the first record I've done where I had we did it with this friend of ours, Dave Schools. He produced it. He's the bass player for Widespread Panic. And I'd met him. They're a great Southern rock jam band.
Right.
Probably my favorite of that realm, you know.
Okay.
And it was the most hands-on producer I've ever worked with, in the sense that he really, I've had other producers on records and stuff, but I feel like I was I was at least in the passenger seat, you know.
Right.
They were maybe driving. And Dave was really like, he was driving and I was in the backseat.
Okay.
He was very, just very interested in dissecting the songs. Like, I sent him 25 songs, I think, and man, we tore them apart, put them back together, tore them apart again, added things, took things away. He really, I don't know, it was cool because it really made something unique that I 100% would not have made if I'd have done it on my own. Like, he was very much a part of it.
Sure.
So it was cool, man. It was a cool experience, and I really respect, Dave and I, we talked for months about cool records and different stuff that we liked on this record and that record, and so we really kind of went deep on trying to make something unique and different that would be separate from my past records.
So where did you record that at?
We did it in Sonoma County, just outside kind of Sebastopol or like Occidental.
California.
So Sonoma County area on this apple orchard that Dave's been building a studio there. It's called Space Camp Studios.
Okay.
But I mean, you're about 20 minutes from the ocean.
All right.
It was phenomenal. Like, kind of right by Bohemian Grove and all that.
Oh, right.
So it's just a trippy place to be in general.
Sure.
And it was just an awesome experience just to kind of get to be in this place that, already has this kind of ethereal feeling to it, and go to the ocean for lunch or whatever, and come back. And just getting to do that was trippy enough. And then, getting into the record.
Yeah.
I wish we'd had twice as much time.
Idaho boy hasn't spent much time in the ocean.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No, I can't believe I didn't jump in. I usually would.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. So where are you headed from here?
We're heading to Reno next week, and then we're somewhere up in Idaho, and then we're at the Council Mountain Music Festival in Council, Idaho.
Okay, hadn't even heard of that before.
I've known about it, but I'm pretty curious to experience it firsthand.
Sure.
But we did a lot. We did kind of a top heavy summer. It's been so hot in the summers now, so we did a big 6-week tour ramping up to the record coming out. As we put a couple singles out,
right,
and then we're just bouncing around doing festivals, and then we'll be hitting it again in the fall, be in Texas and the Midwest.
Good. Well, we got to see you in Bone the end of June.
Yeah. Which was awesome.
Bone is always such a cool venue, and Miss Darcy's coming to play there. On the 31st of August.
Yep, saw that.
So we're looking forward to seeing Darcy out there, and but it's always cool because like I say, those little venues like Bone and like here is we get to sit down and visit for a minute.
Yeah,
and catch up and stuff. And so
catch us early in the day, man.
Yeah,
the stories will get more and more distorted as the night goes on. I'm sure. It's like the guy that catches the fish. You're like, it was this big, and then you talk to him at the bar later. It's like it was like this big.
Yeah. The songs get louder and broader and better stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we wrote this story because. Yeah.
So. Well, this is one of a kind hangman Chalice and the Broncos Union. I mean, it's crazy. It's the 40th year,
isn't it? I've asked everyone this question, and yet I haven't had the chance to talk to Muzzy. Muzzy's coming to Bone, right?
Oh,
in a week or so.
Awesome.
And so I'm hoping to get a sit down with Muzz there because he's so busy here.
Oh yeah, totally.
But I want to know, isn't this has got to be one of the longest running festivals in the country?
So I mean, yeah, it's got to be up there. I mean.
For this genre, anyway.
Holding anything together for 40 years is pretty wild.
Speaking of holding things together, that's one of my favorite songs you do.
Oh, that Hold It Down Together?
Hold It Down Together.
Yeah, right on.
Did Mickey write that together?
We did. Yeah, we did. And it's funny, we were supposed to play it. Mick played it Thursday.
Yeah.
And I texted him specifically going, hey, I won't hold this down together this year. He goes, sounds good, man, no problem. And then the day of, he goes, hey, you going to sit in with us and hold this down together? I'm like, no. You're sitting in with us and you're not playing it this year. We're playing it. And he goes, no, you play your version. I'm like, no, we're not playing it again.
No, you can play it again, dude. You can play it.
We probably should have.
You can play it 2 or 3 times in a set, and I'm okay with
sitting on the side of the stage. That's on there. He goes, I thought you were going to play it. You were going to call me up, but it's cool. I guess you just have all my brothers, and I'll just hang out. I was like, dude.
What I love is you guys all take turns calling each other up on stage, and then no one shows up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's always fun. That looks like so far Cody's been the only one that they've been able to con out on.
Cody's always the MVP of sit-ins, man.
Yeah.
He just loves to play.
Yeah.
That's the best part about touring with Cody.
Well, dude, we won't hold you up.
Yeah, man.
Bagwell's going taking the stage here pretty quick.
Yeah,
check her out.
I definitely want to catch her.
And we appreciate you. We love what you do.
I know, man.
And thanks for taking time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah,
this is always fun. I've been making everybody. I still got to make you go up and sign the guitar.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
I'm in. Well, hey, if we don't see you in Bowen, we'll see you at the 41st Brown Brothers reunion. I'm sure next year.
We'll see you. Listen, we'll try and make it. We're going to try and make it to Key West. You go back to Key West, Mile Zero?
I will be out there. Yep, we'll be out there. And was it January?
End of January.
Yeah, somewhere down the road there.
Well, cool. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Oh, it's awesome.
For Musical Miles Podcast, I'm Byron Duffin with Jeff Crosby. See you next time. Adios.